Hi, this video is for the new AQA Economics AS level course. We're going to be looking at questions 29 and 30, and both of these questions are on context 2, which is titled, How has immigration affected the performance of the UK economy? So let's start with question 29. Use Extract D to identify two significant points of comparison between the natural increase in the UK population and net migration into the UK. The best way to answer two significant points of comparison questions is to say, firstly, give your point 1, then give data for point 1, leave a line, then put secondly, put your point 2 down, and then give data for point 2. So remember, we need to have the point and the data which backs up your point. There are many different points of comparison that you can say in the data, and essentially all you have to do is say a point that's true and then back it up correctly with data. One example of what we could say is the range between 2007 and 2013 and say what happens to the data. So we could say that the natural increase in the population was higher at the end of the period than at the start of the period, whereas net migration was lower at the end of the period than at the start of the period. So that's my point, and now we're going to back it up with data. So natural increase in the population rose from 187,100 in 2007 to 212,100 in 2013. Whereas net migration fell from 304,900 in 2007 to 188,500 in 2013. Our second point of comparison could be to say where the two variables peaked. So we could say that the natural increase in the population peaked in 2011 at 255,200 people, whereas net migration peaked in 2007 at 304,900 people. We could also compare when each of the variables were at their lowest figure. So the natural increase in the population was lowest in 2007 at 187,100, whereas net migration was lowest in 2012 at 165,500 people. We could also comment about the changes in the values between the years, so we could look at when there is the biggest change and the smallest change between each of the yearly values. Another point could be to mention about the volatility of the variables. Essentially, for this question, you just need to say a good point, and then you need to back this point up with data. And you need to make sure you do this correctly, so you read the correct figures from the graph. This brings us on to question 30. Use the data in Extract D to draw a bar chart to show net migration in the UK for each of the years between 2007 and 2013. So first, we need to look at what our two variables are. Our two variables are net migration, and the other variable is time, or years. And the range of the value for years is 2007 to 2013. We're going to plot time or years on our x-axis and net migration in thousands on our y-axis. And then it's a case of plotting the figures correctly on the graph. So in 2007, the value should be 304.9 thousand, and then we work our way through 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, and in 2013, the value should be 188.5 thousand. Alternatively, we could have labelled our y-axis just net migration. If we did this, all the figures on the y-axis must be in thousands. So we should have 50,000, 100,000, 150,000, etc., etc. So this brings us to the end of this video. There are videos for the other questions in this past paper on YouTube. Alternatively, you can click the link in the description below, which will take you through to the website.